It's become apparent that Kristaps Porzingis needs to go for the Dallas Mavericks to ever reach their full potential with Luka as the team's franchise player. This is partially about fit, partially about talent, and partially about health. And let me just get this out of the way. I get what KP does well. I've been a fan of KP ever since he took his name out of the draft. I love this guy as a prospect, and I like the deal for the Mavericks when they made it. When KP is on, it's exciting stuff. The spacing he provides makes a huge impact on their offense, especially on Luka's scoring efficiency over their 2 seasons together. With KP on the floor versus without KP, it's a big difference. But without KP, that happens way too often. You can't trust a player who has not proven he can stay healthy. Since he was drafted, he has a long, scary list of injuries, and in 2 seasons with the Mavs, KP has missed nearly 1/3 of total possible games. In the 2020 bubble playoffs against the Clippers, he got hurt midway through the series and then had to have knee surgery for a torn right meniscus. And in the 2021 playoffs against the Clippers, this time around, it's just been a struggle. The Clippers shred Porzingis on defense. He struggled to defend in space, and in the pick and roll, he hasn't offered the type of rim protection you'd expect from a 7'3" man. KP doesn't change directions well, and LA's stars scooted on by him. Defending guys like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard is a challenge, but it often looked way too easy for them. And if they weren't racing by him, they plowed through him because of his lack of strength. He couldn't even contain Nick Batum. Here, Batum screens for Paul George and pops the 3. KP can't recover or move laterally. Away from the ball, he too often loses track of his man. Here, he gets switched on to Kawhi Leonard, who just runs right away from him. Batum frequently cut back door on KP as well to get easy layups at the rim. He even struggled to grab contested rebounds, grabbing only 4 boards per game all series against the Clippers. On this play, it's not his fault Marcus Morris grabs the board, but after Luka goes for a steal, he's asleep and doesn't react quickly enough. KP's struggles protecting the paint also show up statistically. During his final season with the Knicks, when Porzingis defended shots within 6 feet of the rim, opponents shot 13.7 percentage points worse than their normal averages. That ranked highly in the NBA. In 2020, his numbers were also strong, but he has fallen off a cliff in 2021, holding opponents to only 3.3 percentage points worse than their norm. It's actually kind of disappointing because it wasn't like this before. Knicks fans experienced a different Porzingis on defense. Back then, he had better fluidity changing directions, which he used to bother opponents. He could fly in as a help defender to swat away layup attempts, and that's how he logged the majority of his 2.4 blocks per game while leading the NBA in block percentage. The truth is that he was feared around the rim. Mavericks fans saw glimpses of this player in 2020 for extended stretches. At times, he was extraordinary. But despite some occasional flashes, he hasn't been the same player in 2021, and it hurt Dallas. KP also hasn't evolved on offense. Nearly 80% of his makes are assisted, meaning he doesn't create much for himself. You don't want him dribbling more than once or twice, and if he does, it gets pretty ugly quickly. As a passer, he's limited, he doesn't deliver an accurate ball, and he frequently turns it over. On the post, he has one real move, turn around and shoot a face-up jumper. But he's so skinny he can't back anyone down, and he lacks the footwork to unleash more complex moves. During his 2 years with Dallas, when KP is defended on the post by a center, he's scoring only 0.85 points per post-up. Against forwards, only 0.88 points per chance. Both of these rank near the bottom of the league. Even when he's defended by guards, he's scored just 1.04 points per chance, which ranks only slightly above average. Since KP can't punish bigger or smaller opponents on the post, it neutralizes his potential as an on-ball screener. In theory, he could feast on rolls to the rim, and he does when he's allowed to. But when Porzingis sets an on-ball screen, defenders switch 27% of the time. That's the most often of all bigs to set at least 1,000 screens this season, according to Second Spectrum. So teams can either defend him with a wing they're comfortable with switching onto Luka, or they aren't worried about what KP will do to a smaller guy after a switch with a post-up or an isolation. So aside from his deep shooting range, he's not offering elite complementary skills next to Luka on offense. And now he's not even an enforcer on defense. These are qualities Luka's Costar needs to have. KP can score and he'll have some big nights, but he was supposed to be Luka's number 2. That's the frustrating part here, because he's not that. On offense, he plays like a third guy on a team with championship aspirations, not a number 2. But even being a number 3 might be generous if he doesn't return to his old form on defense. The trouble here is that the Dallas Mavericks are facing a challenge to make massive changes to the roster. Porzingis has 2 seasons left, plus a player option for a 3rd year left on his contract, and teams don't want him if they tried to trade him. Mark Cuban denied previous reports that the Mavericks shot Porzingis, but at the least, league sources have told me interest in Porzingis is minimal. Teams are scared off by the money, the health, and possibly his diminishing production. And because of the picks owed to the Knicks, Dallas can't deal another first-round pick until at least 2025. Not only that, aside from Jalen Brunson, Dallas's young players haven't shown much. So the team has limited trading power in terms of his draft picks and players. And they also have some tough decisions to make this coming offseason as well, with a number of different upcoming free agents. Maybe the Mavericks could instead try free agency, since they could open up over $30 million in cap space. It's worth giving Kawhi Leonard a call, or one of the many guards and wings available. Look, the Mavericks have plenty of time to get things right with Luka, but it won't be easy. We'll see how the story develops for Luka and the Dallas Mavericks, but Kristaps Porzingis is officially a problem. Thank you for watching this week's episode of The Void, and thanks to the team for putting it together. Please subscribe to get episodes of The Void in your feed every Thursday, plus all of our other great content. Thank you again. I hope you have a fun day.